When I come on campus in the morning, I see the mountains and the dew over the river, and it's beautiful, and it just gets me ready for the day. At Baylor School, we believe
there's a leader.
There is a leader.
There's a leader inside each of us.
With the right inspiration
and a huge world to explore.
The possibilities are endless.
At Baylor School,
we believe
leadership is not just something we read about. Leadership
is what we do.
There's a leader inside each of us.
We believe
it's what we know.
There's a leader
inside each of us.
It's who we are. Who we are.
We believe
it's us.
It doesn't just happen.
But it happens here.
We believe with the right inspiration
and lots of room to explore, to serve,
and to grow.
I've learned that you can be a leader, but you can also be part of the team.
Everything about this place.
The possibilities are endless. It's what we know.
It's who we are.
It's what we do.
And that is how Baylor leads.
进行接下来今天晚上的第二所学校 Baylor School。刚刚大家也看了学校的一个视频啊，非常棒的一个视频啊。那么Baylor School 呢，它是来自于田纳西的一所学校哈。那么也是一所寄宿学校。学校提供非常独特的领导力的培养项目，刚刚大家在视频当中也看到了。那么学校的 STEM 项目也是非常的优秀今天跟大家见面的呢是负责寄宿项目的老师哈 Mr. Spencer Ferrari Wood. Hi, Spencer. So nice to have you, to join us today. So we're very excited to learn more about Baylor. We just played this beautiful video. Everyone is excited.
Well, thank you everyone for joining. I'm really excited to talk about our wonderful school here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Baylor School. We've had a lot of Chinese students come to us throughout the years that have just been tremendous for our school. So I'm really excited to be here with you all today. Ni hao ma to everyone. That's the extent of my Chinese. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here. So thank you, Cindy. Thank you everyone from InAmerica who's invited us. Well, I thought maybe what we can do, and Cindy, we'll have to see if this is okay. I have a couple of videos. I have a new and improved updated video that I would like to share. So we can play that. Okay. And then I'll go through a presentation that should take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And then I have another short video with Chinese subtitles.
Oh, that's wonderful. We would love that.
Yeah, and then we can kind of have a Q&A if that works.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and share my screen now. I want to make sure that the video is going to work properly. So again, if you can't hear the audio or something, just let me know, and we'll go from there. So again, this is our amazing campus right here. We have the Tennessee River. So
beautiful.
As you can see, our campus is nestled along the Tennessee River. We have Signal Mountain, which is right here.
Yeah.
A lot of our day students come from Signal Mountain. I coach American football, so I spend a lot of time down here. But this is our amazing campus. This is a good view. So Cindy, if you want to translate that, and then I'll watch the video.
Sure. Spencer 在视频开始之前，大概先说一下，因为这是一个非常好的学校的一张图片哈，大概说一下，大家能看到这个呢是学校的一个校园的一个图片哈。那么能看到有一条河这是田纳西河远处还有山哈。那么右下角看到的这个是 橄榄球的一个场地。那么刚刚 Spencer 也分享了，说他是学校橄榄球的这个教练，所以他有很多时间都是在这边跟学生一起去训练。
When I first came on campus, I was like, wow, this is huge. This is amazing. Students really go to classes in these buildings. This is literally right on the river. This is beautiful.
I grew up in
大学
Atlanta.
是
My middle school
7:59
was preschool through 8th grade. In Atlanta, it becomes a pre-college application process with picking your high school because there are so many options.
Some people call it community. I like to refer to it kind of as like the interconnectedness between everybody that lives here. Imagine your very best friends all living so close to you and just sharing this amazing experience in such a beautiful place.
Home for me is anywhere there's love and community. Baylor feels like home, and my room is my haven. It's like no other place on campus. It's unique, and it represents me. My roommate and I have it divided into 4 areas: sleeping, studying, eating, and, of course, hanging out. Baylor is the best opportunity I've been given.
I do think of this as my second home.
So Baylor School, we are located in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We are a college prep school. So our mission is to foster in every single student both the ability and the desire to make a positive impact in the world. 100% of our graduates are accepted into colleges and universities around the world. So it's definitely a place that, as I said, a lot of Chinese students have come from in the past that have come to us and had great experiences. And of course, we would like to welcome more in the future. So before I talk about Baylor School specifically, I want to talk about why you should consider boarding schools in general. And really, it comes down to 3 things. So I would say number 1 is the relationships. Whenever you visit a campus at a boarding school, you're probably going to instantly feel like either this could or could not be home for me, because you're going to be very far away from your family, far away from where you're from. So you want to make sure that the campus feels like home. And a big part of a place feeling like home is the people that you meet, and it's the relationships that you build there. So you should consider boarding schools because of the relationships. I think number 1. Number 2 is going to be the opportunities. The word that we use a lot is more. If you want more out of your education, if you want to have more opportunities academically, if you want to have more opportunities athletically, if you want to have more opportunities socially, then boarding school is a really good place to provide that. And then lastly is going to be independence. This is why a lot of people come to boarding school, because they want to gain independence before they head off to the university. And so when you live at a boarding school and you don't have your mother or your father there, you have to understand time management skills and how to study when there's not your mom or dad there telling you to study right now. And so I think gaining independence is a really critical part of the boarding school experience. So Cindy, you can go ahead and translate all of that if you'd like, while I leave this slide up here just for some photos.
Sure, wonderful. 那么老师刚刚也是讲了哈，那么学校这个 Baylor School 呢是一所寄宿学校，在田纳西。那么刚刚也讲了，就是在分享学校的这个信息之前呢，老师也是想说一下，那为什么选择寄宿学校哈？有3点他觉得是非常非常重要的，一个是 relationship， 也就是我们说的人与人之间的关系，因为 这个是非常重要，不仅是师生关系也好，还是友谊也好哈。那么在一个寄宿学校，你能得到更好的一个这样的环境去培养这些人与人之间的关系和你的一个技能。那么第二点呢，就是你的这个机会更多。那么这方面呢，不论是学术也好，体育也好，或者你的社交方面也好，你能得到更多的一个这个机会，因为你是住在学校的。那么另外一点呢，就是这个学生的这个独立性非常非常的强。那么因为你远离父母哈，就是独自去生活，你能够锻炼非常多的你的时间管理观念还有你处理事情的各方面的能力哈。这也是为什么寄宿学校这个一直非常受大家欢迎的一个原因哈。
Great. So this is just again to recap. So relationships, opportunities, and independence. Now, keeping with the theme here for boarding schools, before we talk about Baylor specifically, I want to give some statistics from TABS, which is the Association of Boarding School. And I'll try not to read through all of these statistics one by one, but I do think a lot of them are very important. So I'll just touch on most of them here.
Yeah.
So students that go to boarding school are typically, the overwhelming majority are very satisfied with their experience academically at boarding schools. So again, we talked about boarding schools offering more opportunities academically, for example. So 95% of students are very satisfied with their academic experience at boarding schools compared to private day schools or public schools. Also, when it comes to how boarding students spend their time, of course, you're going to spend time in the classroom studying, maybe playing a musical instrument, doing homework after school, getting involved with athletics, sports, or free time, so doing as you wish. And so if you look at just sports specifically, for example, I mean, you're going to spend a lot more time playing sports or doing extracurricular activities more than your counterparts in private day schools or public schools. So again, staying on this theme of more. And then about how boarding school prepares you. So when it says, you know, what boarding school students said about how prepared they were for college versus private day school or public school students, 78%, so over 3/4 of boarding school students said that they were prepared for college. And again, that is our goal. I mean, we are a college prep school. 100% of our graduates are accepted into colleges and universities around the world. So it's important that we feel like boarding schools, they prepare you for college. Compared to private day schools, only said 36% of them felt prepared for college and only 23% from public schools. Lastly, the quality of teachers that we have at boarding schools are phenomenal. So the percentage of students who said that they have great, high quality teachers, public schools, only half of the students said that they had great, high quality teachers. Private schools was 62%, but boarding schools was 9 out of 10. So 90% of students who went to boarding school said that they had great, high quality teachers. And so again, I mean, that's a primary reason you would go to boarding schools, because you want to have a great academic experience, and high quality teachers are a really big part of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is a very impressive numbers.
Yeah.
那么刚刚Spencer 也分享了一下哈，那么这个寄宿学校这边一些数据哈，对比其他学校的一些类型，那么有95%，超过95%的这个学生呢，是对自己整体的这个寄宿学校的这个学术的这种体验是满意度应该是最高的哈，对比其他学校的类型。那么当然呢，因为是寄宿这样的一个特殊的环境哈，那么学生有更多的时间和机会去参加一些学校的这个体育还有其他方面的一些活动另外呢，关于就是说学校Baylor School 呢也是一所大学预备学校，那么他们的学生在毕业以后都是100%能够100%进入到世界各地的大学，所以呢，从这个大学预备这个角度来讲呢，也是就是学生感觉到自己这个非常准备好了。那么很顺利的过渡到大学的这个比例也是比较高的哈，78%。另外呢，也是他们对于学校老师的一个评价，90%的学生都是觉得老师的这个对老师的评价都是非常高的哈。那么整体上来讲呢，寄宿学校应该是给学生 提供的这个各方面的这些安排也好，或者学生的感受也好，应该都是非常的好的，或者说它的这个比例是非常高的，学生的这个感受。对。
Great. So now we've talked about the importance of boarding schools, and now, of course, we want to move on to why Baylor. So we've talked about how boarding schools offer more opportunities academically, athletically, socially. So if you're looking for an experience that just has more than what you're getting currently, then boarding schools are a great place to look. And specifically, tonight, of course, we want to talk about Baylor School. So what makes Baylor a Baylor, and why would it be a good fit for you? So our core values, which I think are really important. So again, our mission statement, if you look in the bottom right hand of the screen, is to, as I said earlier, to foster in our students both the ability and the desire to make a positive difference in the world. And we do that through our core values that we have. So just to kind of quickly roll through a few of these. So respect, spirituality, academics, individuality, honesty, leadership, and character. These are our core values. And these core values are to prepare every student for university and just life in general. So respect and honesty, character, spirituality, these things are also part of our honor code, which is really a big part of Baylor here. We also have a lot of leadership opportunities for all of our students. So again, as they're preparing for college applications, one question that's going to come up a lot of times in college applications is, what kind of leadership responsibilities have you experienced before? What kind of leadership qualities and capabilities do you have? So we have a lot of opportunities for students to have leadership responsibilities. Academics, of course, we'll touch more on, and individuality. I mean, I think every single student is different. Every single student has various strengths that they have to offer. And so it's part of our job to, bring out the best value in you and to utilize your strengths so that you can do well academically and socially and athletically to prepare you for life after Baylor.
OK. 那么前面讲了一些关于寄宿学校比较就是概括的一些信息，那么接下来老师会更多的分享一下关于 Baylor 学校的一些特殊的点。那么刚刚呢，学校老师也说了，Baylor School 的一个教学理念是培养学生的这种，就是也是要对这个世界做出一个积极正面的影响的这样的一个人。那么不但是从技能方面，也是从你就是这个渴望去做这个事情，激发你去做这些事情。那么在学校的就是核心的理念当中，包括刚刚他也提到了你的这个领导力尊重他人，你诚实。然后呢，当然对于孩子性格的培养，还有对于个性化的培养这些都是学校非常关注的。
Great. Well, thank you for translating for us tonight, Cindy, by the way. I have, just quickly, I have so much respect for students that come to Baylor that they're speaking English as a second language or sometimes a third or fourth language. I think a lot of times native English speakers very wrongfully assume that when we meet someone who speaks English not at a native level, we automatically sometimes think, oh, they must not be as intelligent. But that's so far from the truth. They're oftentimes more intelligent. And I think, a sign I actually have, you probably can't see, I have written on my board back here that a foreign accent is a sign of bravery, because when you meet someone who speaks English with maybe, an accent, that means that they speak more than one language and they're courageous enough to try to improve it. And I really appreciate that. I lived in Europe for 8 years before I came back to Baylor. And I was that person. And so if you could just share that, Cindy, just before we move on, I think that's really important because
well, that is also kind of like just not yourself. I feel like that might be just the school, right? The value this. I mean, like
that is definitely a Baylor value for sure. We definitely value that.
Thank you so much. 对，刚刚这个Spencer 也说非常感谢我今天帮他去分享。他认为说，就很多时候大家因为可能说英语的国家的人就认为说每个人可能都能够说英语如果你说的不好，可能是是不是你能力不够但其实因为他接触的国情比较多，这个我想呢也同时去侧面的去反映了 Baylor 学校的 Baylor School 的它的一种理念哈，就是说他其实个人来讲，他说他后面刚才在背板上写了一个东西，他觉得说有口音的英语其实是一种勇敢的象征哈，象征了这些国际学生和就是这个说着不同语言的这个人来到一个新的国家去生活哈，所以他觉得就是他这个想法一定要跟大家去分享一下。Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Well, moving on. So academically, I want to talk about our academic success that we have, of success of excellence here academically at Baylor. We offer more than 30 honors, advanced placement, and post-advanced placement courses, and also a lot of elective courses. Now, again, we are, as I keep saying, we are a college prep school through and through. So a lot of our core curriculum is going to be to prepare students for the university. And so we have more than 30, high-level courses that are beyond the normal offering. We're actually the only school in the Southeast that offers a 500-level Mandarin course, which is the equivalent of sophomore level in college course in the Chinese language. So that's also kind of cool. I know that a lot of the students that are listening to this call probably won't be taking Mandarin at Baylor, but they could probably take the 500 level course and do quite well. One unique aspect of Baylor is our learning center. So at Baylor, we have a learning center for students to receive tutoring. They can meet with other students to, if they have a group project or a partner in a class, they can meet there to go over some things or meet with a teacher even. But one really cool thing about Baylor is that if you spend a lot of time in the learning center, it does not mean that you are doing poorly academically. A lot of times people might think, oh, if you're in the learning center, that means that you're failing or you're not doing well. But so often, so many of our high achieving students spend a lot of time in the learning center, and those are the ones who are excelling and doing really well. So it's very cool and normal and accepted and embraced to want to do well academically here. So whether you're struggling in a class or whether you're doing really, really well or somewhere in the middle, it's welcomed to go to the learning center and continue to strive to improve that grade. And I haven't found that at many schools, but Baylor is definitely a place that encourages that. Of course, we have senior seminars in English, science, and in history. We offer we also offer 5 languages for the post-AP level. So that's Spanish, French, German, Latin, and of course, Mandarin, Chinese.
Wow.
So you can go ahead and, would you like me to leave it on this last slide, Cindy?
Sure.
Leave it here?
I can, yeah. Explain to everyone. 刚刚老师呢也讲了一下学校的一些学术方面的一些这个突出的一些点啊，包括刚刚提到了学校有超过30多门以上的这种荣誉 AP 课程和这个选项哈，那么还有一些选修课程，那么其中呢他也想比较突出聊的就是关于学校的这个学习中心哈，很多时候呢可能大家会觉得说，哎，在这个学习中心是不是只有跟不上的学生才会到那边去学习？其实Baylor 学校呢是非常去鼓励学生去到这个学习中心去，那么学校老师能够给学生提供很多的帮助，那么很多学习非常成功的或者学习学得非常好的学生也会去到那边去学，那么主要是呢就是他们可能会有更深层次的一个问题去问老师哈，所以呢他这个学习中心里面老师都是为学生在这个上课的这个期间呢，会提供一个帮助和支持刚才他也提供了提到了学校有5种语言哈，包括这个中文西班牙语那么同时呢，在这个高年级呢也会有一些这种探讨式的这个研讨班的一个模式哈这样学生能够更多的参与到讨论过程当中，包括有英文呢、历史还有科学，那么这些呢是学校在学术方面的一些突出的一些点。
So we've talked about academics. Now we will talk about athletics. So athletics are a big part of the experience here at Baylor, and they can be a very big part of your experience here as well if you choose to pursue athletics. We've had a lot of success athletically in recent years. As you can see, we've won over 160 state championships in the past 20 years alone. maxpreps.com. So Max Preps is the premier organization in the country that covers high school sports. And according to them, we are the number 3 high school athletic program in the entire country. Sports Illustrated has said that we are a top 25 high school athletic program in the country. We're number 1 in the state of Tennessee. We have over 100 alumni that are currently competing in their sport in college. So athletics are a really, really big deal here. We have a lot of different offerings for athletics as well. So we have the traditional American sports of, American football, baseball, basketball, soccer, those type of sports. But we also have sports that are not as common sometimes in the Southeast or even in the United States, like fencing, rowing. So every single student that comes here, especially as a new boarding student, you're required to participate in an after-school activity in all 3 seasons. So that's going to be fall, winter, and spring. So you could choose to pursue something outside of athletics. So that could be robotics or a musical instrument. But a lot of times that's going to be a sport. And so we have a lot of students from China that come over, and they one of my advisees, one of the kids that I work with a lot, who's from Beijing, he's a really talented fencer, and he also does some other sports as well. So these are just some of the sports that we offer here at Baylor.
Wow, that's great. 那么刚老师也说 ，Spencer 也说呢，学校这边也提供非常非常多的这个除了学术以外的体育各方面的这个就是这些课外活动是非常非常多的。他着重说了一下体育项目，他们学校的体育项目是非常非常的棒的。他刚才也提到在全美的范围当中，他们的这高中的体育项目能够排到前3这样子。那么在田纳西州，他们学校是第1名的那么他也刚才提到了，就是他们超过有100位的这个毕业生都是现在在这个大学的这个体育队所以就是体育方面他们是非常非常强的那刚才他也提到了他们的一些我们看到的图片上的一些体育项目其中也有一些就是在其他学校不会经常能看得到的，比方说这个击剑那么还有这个就是划船这个项目，因为他们学校在河边上嘛，我觉得这个资源是非常丰富的他刚才也提到了他自己带的一个学生就是北京来的，也是非常棒，在这个击剑这个方面所以体育项目是他们学校非常非常强的一个项目。
So we've talked about academics, and now we've talked about athletics, and the third A, if you will, is the arts. So we have a lot of opportunities for fine arts here at Baylor. We have a nationally ranked choir program that has over 100 students that participate in that every year. If you come visit our campus, you'll see that we have a theater, we have dance and visual art studios, we have different scene and costume shops. So whenever we have a school play, that is student driven. So whether you're acting in the play or not, you'll have a role. So we actually have a prop tech class where students actually create, as part of a class, all the sets for the play. So there's a lot of ways to get involved in fine arts. We have band, we have orchestra. We have more than 40 performances every single year, whether it's again, an orchestra performance, a choir performance, a band performance, or if it's a festival or they tour on the road somewhere. We also have advanced placement courses in art history, studio art, and 3D design, which is really, really cool. And a lot of the teachers here are actually professionally working artists. So you're not learning from people that have just studied about art, but you're learning from people that are actually artists themselves. I think that's a really important distinction to make.
Wow, that's impressive. 那么接下来老师也分享了一下关于学校在艺术方面的一些非常棒的一个信息他们学校的这个艺术项目也是非常非常强的，特别是他们的合唱团在全美都是非常有名的。当然了，除了合唱团以外，学生也会有其他的各种各样的这种这个机会去参与到艺术当中去刚才也提到了，像这个乐队也好还有这个他们说的这个舞蹈也好 还有这个舞台剧。那么给学生的选择还是非常非常多的，每年呢学校能超过有40多个这样的一个表演哈，涵盖了各方面的一些这个学生的一些技能。那么同时他也提到学校的这个 AP 课程呢，在艺术方面也提供艺术历史，还有这个绘画这个 Studio Arts，就是应该是叫这个就是绘画这方面的哈。另外呢还有就是3D 设计这方面哈，这3个课程是学校有这个 AP 级别的，这个也是非常棒的。
Okay, so at this point, we've covered academics, athletics, and arts. And quickly before we wrap up here, I want to talk about the city of Chattanooga. So our location, Chattanooga is an extraordinary place. It is a city that is not too big. It's not too small. It's just the right size. It's got about 200,000 people. And when you visit campus, you'll see that we have a Chattanooga address, but you won't feel like you're in a city at all because we're right along the river up against the mountains. We feel like we're far away from any city, but we're actually only a 5-minute drive from downtown, which is kind of convenient. In fact, where I am right now in my office on campus, I mean, I'm deep up in the campus near the river on top of a hill. And if I were to plug in on my GPS downtown Chattanooga from right here, it would say 7 minutes. And 3 minutes is just getting off of Baylor's campus. So it's really only maybe a 4-minute drive or so downtown. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, Outside Magazine, which is a very popular magazine talking about all things outdoors, so sports and hiking and climbing and things, they named us the best town ever. That's what they said about Chattanooga. We also have a walkabout program, which is an outdoor education program. A lot of students come to Baylor because they know about or they've heard about our walkabout program. So we actually have an island on the other side of the Tennessee River that we own, and we use that for hiking excursions. We have a floating dock up against the island as well that we use for kayaking and canoeing. So we have a lot of opportunities to explore our wonderful backyard here. We have 690 acres to explore. And so a lot of that is through our walkabout program. We also have the Chattanooga Airport, which is 20 minutes away. Atlanta Airport, which is about an hour and a half away. That's the busiest airport in the world. And so a lot of students will come through Atlanta. A lot of students will come through Chattanooga, but the Chattanooga Airport is only 20 minutes away and has direct flights to 10 major cities in the United States. Another great thing about our location is our proximity to other great cities. So I mentioned Atlanta, but we're really equidistant between Atlanta and Nashville, Tennessee. So 2 great metropolises in the Southeast. We're also close to Knoxville, which is 2 hours away. That's where the University of Tennessee is located. And Birmingham, Alabama, which is the biggest city in Alabama, is also a couple hours away. So we have a really great location here in Chattanooga.
Wow, that's good. So 刚刚老师呢也分享了一下学校的一个地理位置，可能有些家长对田纳西不是特别熟悉啊，但刚才也说了，那么他们所在的这个城市哈，应该叫Chattanooga，然后呢是田纳西在东南部的一个城市哈。那么学校呢是在一个他们这个就是这个城市的一个就是我们所谓的这个 downtown， 也就是这个最繁华的地方旁边哈，他们5分钟就能到这个市中心，非常非常的方便哈。那么这个小镇呢也被这个美国的杂志评为就是 best town。这个应该是就是很好的，对于他的生活环境各方面都是评价很高的一个这个荣誉哈。那么刚才也提到了，他说在这个学校附近，就是河对面有一个岛是学校，就是学校的，所以呢，学校非常著名的一个项目就是这个叫 walkout， 也就是户外的一些项目。那么因为这个岛是他们的，所以他会带着很多学生去这个岛上去做一些活动，刚才说的包括划船呀，然后水上的或者是在岛上的一些活动哈。所以这个学校这个项目也是非常非常有名的，很多学生过去就冲着这个项目去的哈。那么另外呢，他也提到了这个交通也很方便。那么他们学校离这个机场是20分钟左右哈，然后也有直飞的这个航班。另外呢，他们离亚特兰大市也非常非常的近，大概1个多小时哈。那么是交通很方便的。亚特兰大市也是就是整体中部来讲非常繁华的一个城市。他就是讲了一下学校的基本的一些地理位置吧。
So I am from the Atlanta area, Atlanta, Georgia, an hour and a half away. So I didn't spend too much time in Chattanooga growing up, although it was pretty close. But Chattanooga, I mean, it is, you can see in the pictures, it's just a beautiful place, a great size, lots to do here. So we're really fortunate to call this our home. Now, lastly, I think a really important piece of this for any student is, okay, so where do your students go after Baylor? So the class that just graduated in May, so the class of 2021, had a median SAT score of 1370, which is in the 96th percentile, which is extraordinary. So again, as I said before, we are a college prep school. So we really take seriously our college application process and where we send our students. 100% of our students are accepted into 4-year public or private institutions around the world. And of course, the overwhelming majority of those students will go on to different colleges and universities. But, you know, last year, I know we've had 2 students that received military appointments. We also had a baseball player who was drafted in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. So he actually isn't going to college because he's playing professional sports. But 100% were accepted. In the class of 2021, you can see here some of the colleges and universities that our students have gone to. Of course, a lot of Ivy League schools like Cornell, Harvard, Penn, Princeton, Yale, some other really great schools in the region. So University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, University of Virginia. We've also had students that go abroad, so Oxford, Cambridge. And we have a lot of athletes that have gone on to play at college, so 37 from this past recent class that are playing sports at the next level. And lastly, you know, we have a lot of students that are plugged into the Baylor network for an internship. So we have a lot of college age alumni that we're able to use for various internships around the country through our network here at Baylor.
Oh, that's a great number. 对。那么Spencer 刚才说，那么我前面都讲了很多学校的东西，学校的一些基本信息。那么现在我们讲一下，毕业生，那么从 Baylor School 毕业的学生都是一个什么样的一个情况哈？他有几个数据可能需要分享一下哈，我觉得很重要。那么一个是去年毕业的学生，就是今年毕业的这个批学生，那基本上他的这个 SAT 的平均就是就是不是平均了，就是1370哈，这应该算是一个就是中等线的一个标准，还是1370，这个也是非常棒的一个数字哈。那么他们的学生100%都能够进入到大学，那么去年就2021年的一些数据大家也能看到哈，那么有很多有这个藤校的，还有一些大优的，像康奈尔啊，然后哈佛大学，然后像牛津大学。这个剑桥大学哈，这都是英国的，普林斯顿耶鲁这些大学。那么他去年还有2个学生去了西点所以学生的毕业去向是非常非常强的，并且他们很多学生都是毕业了以后去到这个大学去打这个比赛哈。这是就是一些学校的一个这个整体的毕业去向的一些信息。
So you'll see some schools here where our students in the past have gone. So some that, of course, you'll recognize. So from the bottom left, you'll see Harvard. The orange one is University of Tennessee, which is nearby here. Washington State, that was a football player who went to play at Washington State. Carnegie Mellon, a premier university in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Northwestern, of course, in Chicago. And then moving up to the top, Georgia, Yale, University of Southern California, and Penn in Philadelphia. So we've had students from this most recent class that were accepted into 250 colleges and universities around the world.
对这个图片也是他们今年的毕业生哈，所有的毕业生加在一起大概收到了250份大学的一个申请，那么其中有一些当然是录取去向非常好的，像哈佛第一个，那么还有包括我们看到的卡内基梅隆，后面的像这个芝大呀，然后佐治亚呀，还有就是这些学生的毕业去向都是非常非常棒的。
So lastly, our timeline for admissions. We would like to have all of our applications completed by December 31st, so the end of the calendar year. We will do in-person and online virtual tours up until December 10th, and then earlier in January as well. As far as decisions, we have the early decisions is going to be going out on February 10th. So that is for students that prioritize Baylor as their top choice. We have first round decisions 1 month later on March 10th, and then the contracts are due back with a deposit on March 21st. Additionally, we do have some opportunities for students to visit campus. So we have boarding open house events where they can come see campus and meet with current faculty and coaches and students. But if that's not an option for Chinese students, they can also attend a boarding webinar. So it's basically kind of what we're doing right now, but a little bit more in depth and about the admissions process here. And we can answer any more questions that you have about Baylor.
Okay, that's wonderful. 那么刚刚老师也是讲了一下大概他们的这个申请的一个时间点，他们学校呢也有早申请哈。早上的这个学校我们在讲的时候也提到了这样的一个安排，那么也是12月31号哈早申请，如果提交早申请，那么除了早申请以外呢，它其他的时间跟常规的寄宿学校应该都是差不多的哈。那么当然学校也提供访校啊，然后线上的一些活动哈。如果咱们今天参加会议的家庭有这样的一个想法需求的话呢，可以跟我们的老师去沟通和交流，我们可以帮你们做相应的安排。那么接下来呢，就是我们的这个问答的环节。Thank you so much, Spencer, for this wonderful sharing. So I see that parents are sending a lot of questions in the chat room. So we probably got a few minutes for the questions. So I'm going through all the questions and just, we can answer some questions which are not covered in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I'll hold off on the second video right now. I think we're kind of towards the end of time.
Okay.
Maybe I should I stop sharing my screen and just show my face? Maybe that'd be a little easier.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let me just go through this. Let me just go through all this. Yeah, they want
a lot of questions.
Yeah, some question is about like Chinese student in general. What is the percentile in your school? If you don't have the exact number, maybe rough number.
Yeah, so what I can tell you is that we have 200 boarding students on campus right now. And
咱们有位家长的那个 I'm sorry, I just wanted to let them to know.
Yeah, sure.
You need to be muted, otherwise, yeah. 咱们有位家长的好像对，好了。好 Yeah, I'm sorry for the interruption, Spencer.
No problem. So we have 200 boarding students on campus here, and 40 of those, so roughly 20%, are international. And we have more students from China than anywhere else. So we've had, I don't know what the number would be, but let's say 15 to 20 students that are from China.
Okay, sure. 因为有些家长也想了解一下，就是整体上中国学生在学校的一个比例。他说20%呢，咱们大概寄宿的20%当中是这个国际学生，可能中国学生到15到20个吧，其实真的不多哈，因为4个年级，每个年级学生其实还是这个很少的哈。Let me just go through all these questions. Oh, some questions is about the sports program. Is there like an additional fee usually?
Additional fee?
Like for participating. No. Okay.
Yeah. No, so all the equipment and travel and food when you travel, I mean, that's all covered covered by Baylor.
Yeah, okay, that's good. 因为有些家长也在关注说这些体育活动的是不是有额外的费用？因为前面有一所学校说有啊，但是每个学校情况都不一样啊。Baylor 这边是没有任何额外的费用的哈。And also another family wanted to know, because you're like the city, like the school location is very convenient, easy. Like a short trip to like to different cities around the school. So they wanted to know, like, on the weekend, usually, what kind of like activity you have. Do you also organize a student to tour around, university nearby? This kind of arrangement.
Yeah, so every weekend we have some type of student activities for the students that live on campus. So for example, on a Saturday, it could be something on campus, so something outside if the weather is nice. It could also be something downtown in the city of Chattanooga. So we might take students to a professional baseball game or soccer game, or maybe we take them downtown into the city of Chattanooga and we take them to dinner and a movie. And all of that would be covered by Baylor as well. So we have a lot of activities for the students, and a lot of the fees are covered by Baylor School. We also do take students on college visits as well. We have University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, which is located here in the city, but we also take students around different cities and universities around the region too.
OK, cool. 老师刚才也说呢，周末的活动安排还非常非常多的。那么不但是学校校园内有很多活动，因为学校离这个相当于市中心哈，算是他们的这个小趟的中心吧，还是非常近的，所以有非常非常的活动安排。那么当然就是说带学生去参观大学肯定是会安排的哈。那么包括他这个田纳西大学，还有周边的一些大学哈，这些学校都是会做一个安排的哈。那么我看呢，我们基本上群里的问题，其实基本上学校老师都已经回答过了哈。前面那么有一些问题呢，可能我们一两句是说不清的，比方说一些申请资料啊这些东西哈。那么这些呢，我们可能到家长可以去加我们的这个同事的微信，我们来预约去1对1的一个沟通和交流哈。So Spencer, I just went through all the questions there. We basically covered everything through the presentation, and also, you just answered a few of them. And it's about the time to wrap up everything. We really appreciate your time. I know it's kind of a late out of your office hour, but we really, appreciate your time to sharing about Baylor. So if we have a more inquiry, for some family, they wanted to do virtual tour or like attend those open house, we will make sure we deliver those inquiry to you later on. But, really appreciate your presentation and all this wonderful information to share with us and the parents. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much. I wish I had some of our Chinese students here that could also speak in Chinese about their experience here at Baylor, but they're in study hall right now.
Okay.
But any inquiry or any questions that you have, I can also even have some of our Chinese students reach out and talk about their experience here, so that might be helpful. But thank you again for the invite, and I'm always happy to speak about Baylor School. So thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
OK， 好，那我们今天的第2所学校呢就结束了。